Today I want to show you how two important New Testament passages use the exact same biblical way of speaking, and why neither one proves that Jesus pre-existed as a conscious person before he was born. Let's start with Hebrews chapter 7, verses 9 and 10. The writer says, Levi, who receives tithes, paid tithes in Abraham, for he was yet in the loins of his father when Melchizedek met him. Who actually met who? Abraham met Melchizedek. That's the real event in Genesis 14. Abraham paid the tithes. Levi wasn't born yet. He was still in the loins, in the future family line of Abraham. Levi did not personally meet Melchizedek. Levi did not pay any tithes. Levi wasn't even alive. So how can the Bible say Levi paid tithes? Because of covenant representation. In Hebrew thinking, the ancestor represents the whole line of descendants. What Abraham did counts for Levi. This is proleptic language, speaking of the future as if it's already happened. The writer is using representation to make a point. The Levitical priesthood is subordinate to Melchizedek's order. Now look at 1 Corinthians chapter 10. Paul does the exact same thing. He says the Israelites in the wilderness drank from that spiritual rock that followed them, and that rock was Christ. He also says some of them tempted Christ and were destroyed by serpents. Was Jesus literally a rock walking behind the Israelites giving them water? Was pre-existent Jesus personally sending fiery serpents to kill people? The Old Testament never says anything like that. That would be strange. Paul is using the same representational, proleptic style as Hebrews 7. The physical rock was real, the serpents were real, but Paul is interpreting those events as types, pictures that point forward. The rock that nourished them represents God's sustaining wisdom, and that wisdom finds its full reality in Christ. Just like Levi was representatively in Abraham, the rock is representatively Christ. Paul even tells us this is how to read it. In verses 6 and 11, he says these things happened as examples and types for us. It's not literal pre-existence, it's typology. The past foreshadows and represents the greater fulfillment in Jesus. Here's the parallel that destroys the pre-existence argument. In Hebrews 7, Levi didn't literally meet Melchizedek or pay tithes. He was still in the loins. It's representation. In 1 Corinthians 10, Jesus wasn't literally the rock following them or destroying people with serpents. It's the same kind of representation and typology. Both passages use this Hebrew covenant way of speaking. The ancestor, or the type, stands for the descendant or the fulfillment. This is beautiful prophetic pointing to Christ, not proof that Jesus was a conscious person existing back in the Old Testament. When you see language like this, whether it's Levi in the loins or the rock that was Christ, don't read it as literal pre-existence. Read it as the New Testament authors consistently do, as God's way of making the old stories point forward to his Son. This keeps the Bible consistent. One God the Father and Jesus the human Messiah in whom all these shadows become reality.